Boyfriend, 27, discovered his parents have an open marriage and is now doubting the whole institution. My boyfriend and I, 27F, have been together 5 years. Now that a lot of our friend group has started to get engaged and married and we are both about to turn 28, we've been talking about it more. I've made it clear that my intention is to be married and not forever just dating. He has agreed. He has been alluding to getting engaged on a trip we have planned in December where my whole family will be there. Then a few weeks ago he thought he discovered his dad in an affair to which he told his mom about. Well, turns out they have an open marriage due to his mom's low libido. Apparently they had a dead bedroom for years until they opened things up. Obviously this is something they never wanted to share with their son, but they came clean rather than have him believe his dad was just cheating. This has been quite the mindfuck for him. He seems kinda lost and has made comments about how his whole perception of his parents and marriage as a whole has changed. Now whenever the topic of us getting married comes up he acts really uncomfortable and changes the subject. This past weekend after a night of drinking he admitted he doesn't even know if he sees marriage in his future anymore. I don't know what to do. I love him and want to be with him forever, but marriage is 100% my intention. I have no desire to forever be BF and GF. I want to be sympathetic to what's going on with him as I'm sure it's hard, but at the same time my position on marriage has not and will not change. I don't want to make an ultimatum right now. But at the same time, if marriage was 100% ruled out, I would leave him. He hasn't quite said that, only expressed doubt in the institution, so I don't want to say that explicitly just yet, but I also don't want to waste the rest of my 20s with someone if there's no future. What should I do? Too long did not read. Boyfriend found out his parents' marriage is open, now is doubting the whole institution. He does have a therapist he speaks to weekly. I would assume he has talked to her about this, but those discussions are between the two of them. We have not done couples counseling, but it's something I would be open to. Because I keep getting asked why I aspire to get married, here is a copy, paste where I answered that question. Formal commitment in front of family, friends, church, and government. Legal recognition that isn't provided to all domestic partners. Tax benefits. Religious reasons. Conditioned societal respect that married couples tend to get compared to people just dating. A more stable environment to raise kids, lots of studies that show children do best with two married parents. I don't want to be 40 referring to my long-term partner as my boyfriend or partner. I want that to be my husband. More as well, but those are some of the major reasons. I am not advocating that everybody gets married, but it is something that I want. Didn't realize I'd get attacked so much for wanting to get married, considering in just about every country, the vast majority of adults get married. I think he needs more time to process this, and that you two should table discussions of marriage for a while. He only found out within the past few weeks, right? I would encourage him to consider seeing a therapist if he thinks it would be helpful for him to have a neutral sounding board for his feelings on this. It makes sense that this freaks him out and is difficult for him. Give him some time and some space. Don't make any big decisions all of a sudden. It's normal. I'm sure he'll be fine after some time. Also, things that you say while drunk aren't always what you're actually thinking like some people think. I'm sure you'll be fine. Sis, you're pestering him about marriage while he's going through something traumatic and needs time to process it. I didn't believe in marriage because I saw 3 divorces in my childhood and just didn't think marriage was important. I started dating a guy who was a child of divorce as well and felt the same. As we built our relationship, we started to realize that our parents and their choices and mistakes had no bearings whatsoever on our relationship. We accidentally got engaged and just rolled with it, and now we've been happily married for 2 years. My point being, he needs to figure out why he lets his parents' take on marriage dictate his. If something like marriage would make you break up with him, maybe just break up. Marriage doesn't make the relationship. Love should. I think with all these new, modern, ideas people forget the cost of it. Cheeky smiley face, like there was a reason marriages were a certain way. I hope your boyfriend finds acceptance or peace of mind. Unfortunately, in this forum you are going to be bombarded with people who support and justify this new norm of open relationships. You'd be better off talking to your boyfriend and a professional who can see both views objectively. Nothing wrong with what his parents have chosen to do as long as they are happy and it's all consensual. He is an adult now and can formulate his own opinions on poly, ENM, open marriages and other relationships. I have no doubt it is a shock, but he probably just needs some time to process it. Marriage is what you and your partner make it, and it's no one else's business. But you do need to be on the same page with marriage if you both plan to be together for the long haul. Good luck. People whose parents have long-term marriages that they think are good tend to live in Disneyland, not understanding how it goes for the rest of the world. Give him some time to wake up. Is this a big deal? As long as his parents love each other and it's an equal decision, no coercion from either one, it's just sex. Sex can be exercise, exploration, stress release, etc. Was the son invited, with GF, to join in their little group? That would be bad. Doesn't seem like a big deal. Conditioned societal respect that married couples tend to get compared to people just dating. This does not include men though. Usually men are just portrayed as buffoons in the media. They don't get respect from their peers either, and going with the divorce rate now, you can't blame men. One thing you need to make your boyfriend understand is that you are not the same as his parents. Your marriage is nice and sweet, not an open relationship. Your boyfriend is just confused by his parents' marital relationship, so now he seems a little confused. What you need to do is give your boyfriend the confidence that your marriage is special and wonderful. Just give him some time to process first and then reaffirm that you want marriage in the future. Through doing this, you'll get an answer. No pressuring or ultimatums necessary. I wish you the best op. I would give him more time if I were you. It's only been a few weeks since he found out. Hopefully he comes to realize that what other people do in their marriages has nothing to do with his own marriage. Funny how people think it does. Not the asshole. Talk it through with him. Share your perspectives. He just found this out. He probably hasn't processed it properly himself yet. If he ultimately is 100% sure marriage isn't for him, find someone more compatible. I know that's not the best thing you want to hear considering you've been dating for 5 years. But wouldn't you rather be with someone who wants to marry you not because you want to get married but they value marriage as much as you do? Ask him to do couples counseling around this and let him know you love him and want to be with him, but if he has changed his mind about marriage, he needs to be upfront with you about it because that's one of your goals. Give him a general timeline. You can say something like, I know you have a lot of thinking to do and I do as well. I don't want to grow more attached to you if we are incompatible in this way, so I'm hoping to come to a decision in X amount of time. That's not an ultimatum. That's you sharing the decision you need to come to in order to take care of yourself. If he refuses couples counseling, then you should move your timeline up. And you don't have to split altogether when the timeline is up. You could tell him you want to see other people as well as him. I want to be sympathetic to what's going on with him as I'm sure it's hard but at the same time my position on marriage has not and will not change. I would suggest give him some room to think and be honest with you. I wouldn't want him to just tell me what he thinks I want to hear or what will make me stay. Give him a while, a few months. And then if things still are wishy-washy, give him longer, a year. But with a set end date to have an answer by, with the express intention that during that time he will make a concerted effort to explore his feelings by talking to others, reading up on the subject, self-reflection, therapy work. By the end he needs to say he can or cannot commit to marrying you and you'll proceed. Stay with or split up, accordingly. If he is willing, the book Opening Up is a very good read. It's not pushy or trying to convert anyone, just offering the truth and all the options out there and helps with understanding the dynamics of how it all works. Don't make an ultimatum, just tell him what you told us. If he doesn't want to get married you will leave. It's not an ultimatum, it's the truth of the situation. He needs time to process. I had a lot of similar thoughts when my parents got divorced due to my dad's continual cheating. It's not something I ever outwardly expressed though, and the fact that he has talked about it and has a therapist means he's probably better off than I was processing it. Does anyone know the story of a young man who found out about his parents' open marriage as a child, and that is why he has not spoken to them since he was 18 years old? He even demanded that his parents delete their Facebook photos from his accounts. I highly recommend looking up Dear Sugar, Sully in Your Suite. She talks openly and honestly about how even the happiest and longest marriages are complex, and that there is more to lifelong commitment than flawless sexual fidelity. If your partner's image of his parents' marriage, a relationship he believed to be perfect, has been shattered, this will be very relevant to him. I think your boyfriend should have a long talk with his parents. I believe if he can hear how the decision to open the marriage was made. Also how they are doing with it. That may help put it into perspective. Maybe you can be involved in the conversation as well. I think it's important to remind him that just because his parents are doing something different than what he thought doesn't mean his marriage needs to be that. You just need to communicate what you want out of a partner, but give him time to process things too. You care more about getting married than this guy. Just do him a favor and leave him. Give him a good 1 to 2 months to process the information. His world is literally turned upside down. Why are you so focused on getting married? It's a solid concept. The institution is based on the idea that women are property, which is pretty disgusting. The vast majority of adults get married. Marriage has been on a decline for the last decade, and divorces are up, in all developed economies. Google the statistics. It's understandable that he is feeling hurt and even betrayed. I'm sure he saw his parents' marriage as something to aspire to. Finding out it's a lie would destroy anyone. Joining the time and therapy, sentiments, but also it's worth reminding you both that your marriage is what you make it. You have the ability to make your own decisions for how things will go, and the two of you are the most important part of your marriage. The institution part of it might be the same as his parents, but you aren't buying a car with known issues and expecting a different result. You are choosing a special kind of committed intimacy and you make the rules. I recommend Esther Perel's Mating in Captivity as a great examination of sex and intimacy in committed relationships. Hope things settle in time for you too. Being brief, you need to give him some time and support. You need to examine and understand your own wants, desires and needs. You need to clearly communicate your wants, desires, and needs to him while listening to and weighing his. Do all three and you'll have your answer. For my part, I feel like marriage is more about affirming what the relationship is than converting it from something it isn't. He needs time and possibly therapy to process this. Do not marry someone in a state of mind like this. And people change. This may change him. I would encourage him to seek therapy to work through his issues. If he declines, then you have a choice to make about your future and what you want out of it. You would leave your boyfriend just because he doesn't want to get married? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What benefits are there to marriage anyway? First off, it's only been a few weeks. Give him some time to process this. He's just learned that the marriage he saw as an example of a successful monogamous relationship was not actually monogamous. Revisit this topic in a couple months before deciding if it's actually going to be an issue. Marriages, love, respect, happiness, fulfillment are all deeply personal things. At the forefront of his parents' relationship is the connection that they share, and the ways in which they've chosen to spend their lives together. I see a lot of vilifying of open marriages from both yourself and your boyfriend. You're both welcome to feel uncomfortable and to have questions, but you also need to understand that these are not your life decisions, they're the life decisions of your boyfriend's parents. It's not dissimilar to them having come out to you. You now have to make the decision as to whether you want to support them being their happiest selves, or if you're going to denounce them because they haven't lived their lives in the ways that you've envisioned for them. Give him time. You can't rush processing emotions. And when he's ready, he can find a therapist to talk to about this. And then you can together see a different therapist together and talk about how you want you and him, relationship to be and develop. Marriage as an institution can be whatever the couple make of it. His parents made the right decisions for them. That doesn't mean this is automatically going to happen in every marriage. Marriage at its core means different things to different couples. All that matters is that the two of you are on the same page about the expectations of your relationship and what you want for your life goals. That is the only way a relationship will work, married or not. Out of curiosity, why are you attaching so much importance to marriage? Like, why is it 100% your intention? My personal position is if me and my partner love each other and agree to be exclusive, then that's enough for me. If you want to throw the love of your life away for these other beliefs, then that shows your priorities and he isn't it. The problem is within you more than with him. But since that's how you feel, and you can't wait for him, then clearly your only choice is an ultimatum. You gotta ask yourself, why do you have to be married to have a relationship that evolves and strengthens other than tradition? He needs time to process. At some point you want to sit down with him and figure out where he stands. If you do that too early, he will mix feelings into what is going through his mind. Right now he is seeing what a lot of us already see. The brainwashed relationship escalator is becoming outdated and many choose not to stand in it. Give him time and support him during it, then sit down together and figure out throwing kisses GL. But I also don't want to waste the rest of my 20s with someone if there's no future. What should I do? You can start by not making his trauma about you for starters. Give him a long time to process this new information, perhaps 3 months, or 6, or even 12. I am sorry your timetable has been pushed back. I think he is shaken and needs time. Be clear that you want to get married. Tell him your concerns. A good 3 weeks from now, when you are both chill. Boyfriend, I know you found out something heavy about your parents. I understand that this was a huge shock. The thing is, while I understand you grew up with them, I haven't had a similar experience. I need to be upfront with you and let you know I still value marriage. I am not pushing for a proposal. I want us to get through this together. I love you. I am seriously not trying to be hateful or judgmental here. I'm genuinely just curious. Why is marriage so important to some people? I've never seen the point of it. At the end of the day, it's a piece of paper and a government title. Why walk away from 5 years of a good relationship over a piece of paper? Again, no hate or judgment. It's just something I truly cannot understand. Marriage to me is a made-up concept that I probably would never do unless it made financial sense. Why do you want to get married? Why do you want to get government involved in your relationship? He's right to express doubt in the institution. It's archaic and dumb, and the older I get the more it seems unnatural. I recently learned my brother has cheated on his wife with multiple women, and that shook me to my core. I can't imagine what your boyfriend feels like right now. Formal commitment in front of family, friends. Conditioned societal respect. IDK. If you love someone, that should be enough. If you love someone and the idea of someone, which would also mean the respect via societal norms, then that's two things. OP loves two things, unconditionally. If she has to pick, OP says she instantly picks the idea of marriage over who she is with for 5 years, because of what the acceptance from others would mean to her. I mean, yikes. His world has just crashed around him, and you're still pushing him to say he's okay already. Give him time and stop bringing up his trigger and focusing on your deadline. If you truly love and want to marry him, you won't demand he decide now, just because all your friends are getting engaged. Everyone is on their own timeline. And he obviously wanted to marry you, but is trying to figure out his world right now. Let him work through it.